rough in your hands, that means you have a high porosity. Okay, that being said, so the third, let's move on to the third one. The third Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're highly welcome. My name is Happilicious, and if you're new to my channel, you're highly welcome. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm glad to have you. In today's video, we'll be talking about a very important thing when it comes to our hair growth, come to our hair type and all that. So in today's video, we'll be talking about hair porosity. What is your hair porosity? So we are going to be talking about how to know your hair porosity and how you can manage it, maintain it, how you can take care of your hair based on your hair porosity. All right, without further ado, let's dive right into the video. All right, so the first test to know your hair porosity is the water test. That is the float test. This, you take a strand of your hair or some strands of your hair like you're seeing in this video and just drop it into a room temperature glass of water, and you observe it. So the first is, if the hair flows on top of the water, it doesn't absorbs into the water and goes down, that means you have a low porosity. If the hair stays in the middle of the water, maybe between the up and the lower bottom of it, that means you have a medium porosity. But if you drop the strands into your hair and it sinks immediately or it sinks quickly, that means you have a high porosity. This can be inaccurate if your hair has build up or some products on it. So it's best to use hair strands that are clean, product free and all that. All right, so the second test is slip and slide test. This, you slide your finger through some strands of your dry hair to observe it. You slide your finger upward from the tip to the root to feel it. That's kind of, you can call it like a feel test. You feel the strands of your hair. So if it feels smooth, no, it's not rough, that means it's low porosity. If it's slightly rough, not really smooth, your fingers are feels a little bit rough in your fingers, you have a medium porosity. But if it feels a really very rough, bumpy and kind of rough in your hands, that means you have a high porosity. Okay, that being said, so let's move on to the third one. The third one is water spray bottle test, or water bead test. This is when you spray some water on your hair, or maybe you get into the shower and then you run water through your hair. This is how you know if your hair is low porosity, medium or high. Okay, so the water beads up or spray test is when you enter into the shower or spray some hair or some water on your hair. If the water sits on your hair, it doesn't absorb immediately, it doesn't absorb into your hair immediately, that means you're of low porosity. If the water gradually absorbs into your hair strands, that means you're medium porosity. And then if the water immediately absorbs as you spray into your hair or through the shower, it absorbs immediately, that means you are of the high porosity hair type. So the fourth one to know is product absorption or build-up test. This is when you apply a light leave-in water-based product on your hair. If it sits on your hair, feels greasy, low porosity. If it absorbs without build-up, medium porosity. If hair drinks it quickly but dries fast, that's low porosity. That's if the hair absorbs the product quickly and also dries out quickly, that means you're of the high porosity. So lastly, on the list on how to know your hair porosity is the drying time observation. This is definitely accurate. When I mean accurate, is definitely accurate, because if you're of the low porosity girly, you would definitely know that you are of the low porosity, because your hair can stay wet, can stay down for good 48 to 72 hours depending on how you keep that hair. So if your hair doesn't dry quickly, it takes a long time for your hair to dry, that means you are of the low porosity. If it dries at the time range or the normal time when your hair is expected to dry, you're of the medium porosity. But if it dries very quickly, very fast, that means you are of the high porosity. So yes, I've been able to explain to you the 5 different ways for you to know what porosity type hair you have. So the first, I said, the float test. This is when you put the strands of your hair into water. I said the slip and slide through test, where you take some strands of your hair and slide your hands through to know if it's slightly rough or it's smooth or it's very rough. Then you know your hair type also. Then the spray bottle test or the shower test, when you run some water through your hair or spray some water through your hair, if it sits on your hair, you know. So in this video, I actually showing you basic ways of how to know your hair porosity, and I'm sure I'm able to share that with you and all that. So yes, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, please like, share, comment, and then thumbs up this video so that it will reach more people. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.